It's sort of like, imagine like we were trying to observe a beautiful object in the sky, like a comet. This majestic comet is flying through the sky. We have this telescope that we're looking through it at. And the telescope is very stable and clear. It needs to be stable and clear and focused in order to see this comet. But we look at it, we catch a glimpse of this comet. The comet is so amazing and magnificent, it takes our breath away. We're so excited about it, we start to speculate and we start to spin around. We start to jump and yell and holler and make noise and shake the telescope. And as we do this, we lose sight of the comet. So the whole trick with meditation and self-inquiry and also with psychedelic experiences is that you need to kind of like calm yourself in the midst of the astonishment and the wonder of looking at the process of looking. So that you're not getting in your own way. And that requires calming the mind down. It's a really good analogy to think of it as calming the mind down to self-inquiry is like removing the clouds in the sky for a telescope. You're not going to see anything on a cloudy day through a telescope. And you're not going to get very far with self-inquiry when your mind is churning away, speculating, theorizing, imagining. Bringing up various teachings and things you read in books. All of that is getting in the way. So if you can have a practice that helps you to calm your mind down, anything that helps you to do that is going to be great. And really, if you're beginning self-inquiry, then what I recommend is that you have two practices to make self-inquiry effective. First, you have sort of a pre-self-inquiry practice, which is a form of meditation or yoga or concentration practice where you are training your concentration ability. And you can just practice by holding out your finger and just staring at your finger for 5 minutes straight without wavering, without thoughts. That would be like your pre-self-inquiry practice. And then, as you're practicing that, you can follow that up with the actual self-inquiry, which now the only difference is that you're changing the object from the finger to awareness itself. There's another important thing that I forgot to mention when you're doing the self-inquiry. So I speak of it as though like I'm telling you to go inwards. And you might wonder, why am I telling you to go inwards? Well, because for most people, that's where you believe you live, is inside of your body. That's how it feels like. It feels like it almost feels like you're a ghost who is looking out at the world like this. Almost like you're a ghost inside of your skull. This ghost, if you keep looking at it long and long enough, eventually you'll realize that it's just pure emptiness. But notice an interesting thing that happens if you realize that the ghost is pure emptiness. Pure emptiness, unlike other physical objects, formed objects, does not have a position in space or a location or a size. And what that means is that even though it feels like you're inside the skull, that you're this ghost inhabiting the body and looking out at the world like this, that's really an illusion. So the more you go inside and feel into that emptiness, you will realize, wait a minute, this is all it is just pure emptiness. There's nothing there. And if that's what I am, is just pure emptiness, that emptiness, does it have a shape, a size, a position in space? No. Which literally then gets you to realize that there's no reason that the emptiness is just inside of my body or inside of the skull. It's omnipresent. It's literally everywhere. And in fact, the body and this entire room and the entire universe is occurring within the emptiness. So when you begin self-inquiry, you tend to believe that you're going to find some kind of object inside of you called the true self, like that tennis ball. But the more you look at that tennis ball, you realize it wasn't a tennis ball at all. It was just a vacuum. And a vacuum is a type of object that doesn't have a position or a location. And so what's going to happen is that that sense of you being inside your head, looking out at the world on this side of your face, that sense will die out, and you will spill out into the external world, as you've called it. You will spill out into here. So rather than finding some kind of point or object inside of you that is the perceiver, what you're going to discover is that the perceiver is not a point and it's not an object that is bounded. It's not small. It's actually infinite in its dimensions. It stretches forever in every direction. And that's what you are. And so awakening is realizing that you are larger than the entire universe. That's what it feels like.